35. Go there. We have.
It reads, "And the men of Israel themselves were hard pressed on that day. And yet Saul put the people under the pledge of an oath, saying, Cursed is the man that eats bread before the evening, and until I have taken vengeance upon my enemies. And none of the people tasted bread. And all those of the land came into the woods, when honey happened to be over all the surface of the field. When the people came into the woods, why look, there was a dripping of honey, but there was no one putting his hand to his mouth, because the people were afraid of the oath. As for Jonathan, he had not been listening when his father put the people under an oath. So he stretched out the tip of the rod that was in his hand, and dipped it into the honeycomb, and drew his hand back to his mouth, and his eyes began to beam. And this one of the people answered and said, Your father solemnly put the people under an oath, saying, Cursed is the man that eats the bread today. And the people began to get tired. However, Jonathan said, My father has brought ostracism upon the land. See, please, how my eyes have been because I tasted this little bit of honey. How much more if the people had but eaten today from the spoil of their enemies that they found? For now the slaughter upon the Philistines has not been great. And on that day they kept striking down the Philistines from Michmash to Aijalon. And the people got to be very tired, and the people began darting greedily at the spoil, and taking sheep and cattle and cows, and slaughtering them on the earth. And the people fell to eating along with the blood. So they told Saul, saying, Look, the people are sinning against Jehovah by eating along with the blood. At this he said, You have dealt treacherously. First of all, roll a great stone to me. After that Saul said, Scatter among the people, and you must say to them, Bring near to me, each one of you his bull, and each one his sheep. You must do the slaughtering in this place and the eating. And you must not sin against Jehovah by eating along with the blood. Accordingly, all the people brought near, each one his bull that was in his hands, that night, and did the slaughtering there. And Saul proceeded to build an altar to Jehovah. With it, he started altar building to Jehovah.
Thank you very much, Efren. Excellent. We certainly enjoyed your reading. I was looking at page 83 as you were delivering the talk, and this is what I thought of you, especially when I noticed what you put into practice. Here on page 83 of the big book on accurate reading, it says there, what do you need to do? Read aloud exactly what is on the printed page. Do not skip words, ignore parts of words, or exchange one word for another. And in your case, I noticed that even though you had a week's notice, because you filled in for this talk, you prepared very well. It says here in paragraph number 3, and whenever we have an assignment to read, whether for the friend's case or we have the Bible reading, it says here, reading the Bible publicly, whether to individuals or to a congregation, is something to take seriously, like you did. And it says the Bible is the inspired of God. Additionally, the Word of God is alive and it has power. So it says here that it contains priceless knowledge that if people put it into practice, it will lead them to everlasting life. So if we read well, we're going to reach the heart of our listeners, like you did. Thank you, Efren, for the nice reading. All right, talk number 2. It's going to be presented by Sister Stephanie Garcia.